Make yourself comfortable. Let your body relax and sink down into the bed beneath you. Your eyes feel heavy and start to close. And you feel the gentle rising and falling of your belly as you take deep, slow breaths all the way down to the bottom of your belly and slowly breathe all the way out. Now, as you take one more breath, you are transported into the magical land of Elvaria. So breathe all the way in and slowly all the way out. Then you find yourself in the Elvaria Village. Elvaria is a magical place filled with forests and rivers and a vast ocean where pirates sail and mermaids swim. But here in the Elvaria Village, it looks quite similar to the human world, and in fact there are humans walking around on the streets doing their shopping, along with witches and wizards, animals that wear clothes and talk, and some that stand on two legs, elves and fairies flying, and a few dragons here and there, and even sometimes a unicorn. And very rarely you may see a mermaid here, either with a special spell to keep their tail wet or help them walk, or they might be in a special contraption, a sort of cart that's filled with water, that's either pulled along by another creature such as a unicorn or pushed by someone holding the cart handles. It's a very interesting sight to see. And as you look around the village today, at the stone buildings with their big shop front windows and their wooden painted signs hanging above each door, you see all sorts of creatures bustling about on the cobblestone streets. And as you look around you, you spy some of your friends. There's Alice and Tom, the human children who live here in Elvaria and go to the witch school and the wizard school. And there's Samantha, a witch. She also goes to witch school. They are all standing together outside the chocolate shop, and they are looking straight at you with big grins on their faces, and they're beckoning you over with their hands. Come quickly, they say. We have something so exciting to do with you today, says Samantha. You can see into the shop window behind them at all the magical chocolate creations. These are no ordinary chocolates. These chocolates move. In the shop window you can see the display of the day. It changes all the time. Today there is a chocolate pirate ship that's moving on some chocolate waves, rocking back and forth, and beside it are chocolate dolphins leaping up out of the water and diving back down, over and over again, although of course it's not really water, it's chocolate. And in the sky, or the air just above the pirate ship, are little chocolate seagulls circling overhead. In the top part of the shop window is a night sky with stars, moons and planets floating in the air with nothing to hold them up. And of course, they're all made of chocolate. Tom gets your attention. "Come on," he says. "Stop staring in the window. We've got something much more exciting to do inside." They open the door and you hear the ting-a-ling as you all walk inside, and the door closes behind you. Tom and Alice and Samantha lead you over to the counter, where a very friendly woman with very curly hair and rosy red cheeks is smiling at you. "All ready then?" she says. "Yes," says Alice, "we're ready." The woman, who introduces herself as Trudy, or Mrs. Trudy the Chocolatier, leads you all into the back room. Right in the middle of this room is a huge cauldron. Alice and Samantha and Tom all look at you expectantly. "Are you excited?" says Samantha. But you wonder what's happening. You follow them over to the cauldron and look into it. Inside this massive cauldron, it's full of melted chocolate. It's bubbling away and you can see the steam rising from the surface. "We're going to make chocolate," says Alice. "We're helping Miss Trudy today." Mrs. Trudy rubs her hands on the blue apron that's tied around her waist. "Ah yes, let's get to it," she says. "You can each grab an apron and a hat if you like." She gestures to a wall nearby that has white witches' hats hanging up. They're sort of like a cross between a chef's hat and a witch's hat. Miss Trudy takes one and puts one on her head. There are aprons hanging below these hats, each on their own hook, and you can choose the apron that you like most. There are all sorts of aprons. There are plain coloured ones, just all white or all blue or all pink or whatever colour you like. And then there are patterned aprons, some with flowers on them, some with cupcakes, some with unicorns, some with cauldrons. So take a minute to choose what you would like to wear and put it on. "Now," says Miss Trudy, "are you ready? Do you all know your spells?" Alice, Samantha and Tom nod their heads and they take their wands out of their pockets. Samantha hands you a spare wand. She tells you to just copy what they do. Don't worry too much. Try to have fun and believe in yourself. You can do it. It's easy. They each point their wands right at the melted chocolate in the cauldron. "Hold your wands tight," says Trudy. "We don't want anyone dropping their wands into the chocolate. That is very messy business." So you hold your wand tightly and you point it at the chocolate. Tom turns to you and says, "Now, all you have to do is decide what chocolate you want to make. What shape do you want it to be? What do you want to create? Then picture it in your head. Feel like it's about to happen and feel this energy bubble up inside you and travel down your arm into the wand at the chocolate and see it coming to life, and then it will." "Yes," says Miss Trudy. "So everyone take a moment to really think about what you're creating. You don't want to change your mind mid-spell and create a chocolate that's half cat, half aeroplane or something like that. It wouldn't know what to do with itself, whether to run on the floor and play or to fly up in the air. Of course, you can make a cat And you can make an aeroplane, but choose one at a time. So you think about what you would like to create. It could be anything. An animal, a magical creature, a boat, a fruit, a flower. Have a think now and choose what you would like it to be. Then picture it in your head. Feel that it's about to happen. Feel the energy inside you and see it happening right before it happens. You feel the tingling sensation down your arm, travelling out through your wand. And then you see it. You can imagine it happening, and you see the chocolate leaping up out of the cauldron and forming itself into the shape that you're imagining. And then it's created and it hovers in the air in front of you, ready for you to reach out and take it. So you do. It's solid chocolate now, instantly cooled down to take the shape of the thing you wanted to create. And maybe it moves in a certain way. You look at Alice and see that she's created a butterfly that's flapping right in front of her. Tom has created a whale that appears to be swimming through the air. It's not a life-size whale, of course. It's a chocolate-sized whale. And Samantha has created a cat. A little cat the size of your hand. And she reaches out to scoop it up from the air. And it starts leaping about on her hands, jumping from one hand to the other in a playful, cat-like way. Trudy tells you that you can either choose to enjoy your chocolate by playing with it or by eating it. It's up to you. If you do decide to keep it, just don't take it out on a hot, sunny day, or it will melt. So, you decide to do what you would like with your chocolate. Alice chooses to eat some of her butterfly, and Samantha nibbles at the cat's tail. And Tom decides to save his whale for later. Mrs. Trudy would love your help in making more chocolates for the shop. So you spend a few minutes thinking up various creations and using magic and this big cauldron full of melted chocolate to bring them to life. And after each of them is formed and hovers in the air, Mrs. Trudy scoops them up and takes them out to sit on the shelves in the shop, ready for someone to buy them. So spend some time now thinking up what sort of creations people might like to buy and children might like to play with, and create them now with Alice and Samantha and Tom. Mrs. Trudy tells you that that's enough chocolate for today. And if you would like to, you can all take off your aprons and your hats and hang them up, and then sit down on the comfortable couch over in the corner. And she will bring each of you a fresh, real hot chocolate. So you follow your friends, taking off your hat and apron, and squishing up on the comfortable couch. You watch as Mrs. Trudy waves her wand and a jar of milk floats over to her, along with 4 mugs. She waves her wand again at the cauldron, and in 4 separate globs, chocolate floats up into the air and plops itself down into each of the 4 cups that are hovering nearby. Then the jug of milk pours itself, one into each cup, to turn the chocolate into a chocolatey drink. Then the jug of milk floats off and puts itself away, and the 4 mugs float over to you and your friends, hovering one in front of each of you. You reach out and take yours, and take a big sip of the warm, tasty drink. It makes you feel so relaxed and joyful in your heart, and warm in your fingers and toes. Your friends tell you they're so glad you could be here with them today. They've had lots of fun, and they hope you have too. They'd love to come back to the chocolate shop again. Mrs. Trudy says she would love to have your help. Come back anytime. You feel your body relax now into this comfortable couch, and you know it's time to go home. You say goodbye to Alice and Tom and Samantha, and you know that as you relax here and breathe long and slow breaths, you can simply close your eyes and be transported out of this magical land of Elvaria and back into your very own bed at home, feeling happy and satisfied at this marvelous adventure, eager and excited to come back again, and relaxed and ready to drift off to sleep and have wonderful, magical, sweet dreams. Good night.